going to let you choose between the two of you, which side of this relationship you take. One of you is an aspiring writer who has been trying to get a novel and his poetry published. The other one is their literary agent who has been helping them out. They've had one book published by this agent, and they're thinking about a change of direction or something along those lines. A literary agent and an aspiring writer. Do either of those roles jump out at either of you?
They're both awesome.
Yeah, they're both awesome.
Good.
Why don't you pick for us, Owen?
Okay. Alex, you are an aspiring writer. Kevin, you are his North American literary agent.
Okay.
So you're trying to break into America, Alex. Let's place it like I was saying to Kevin earlier on. He asked me what period we want to do this in. So let's say it's the like mid 20th century, so like somewhere between the 1930s and the 1950s, and you're trying to break America with your books. This is getting more complicated by the second. I'm going to let you get on.
Yeah.
So the first letter is going to be from Alex to his literary agent.
Dear Edwin, I hope this letter finds you well, and I wish I could say the same, but my heart and mind are vexed at present. The monograms I've been writing of the Romantic poets have built my reputation, that much is sure. However, I have no feeling for Byron anymore. And I wish to choose a new topic. I wish to describe the lives of forest animals, the fruits of the forest, yes. And I am speaking not of sheer description, and certainly not from a human point of view, no. I wish to embody the souls of these animals, of bears, of pumas. And I hope very much that this approach, set perhaps in one of your great redwood forests or in a palm-filled paradise, as I'm sure America is replete with, would suit the American audience more than these bucolic descriptions of English gentry having gentle affairs and writing wistful poetry. Edwin, I hope you can agree, the future is furry. Yours, Stephen St. John Williamson. Get my own head sometimes.
Byron. Forest animals. Okay, all right. Jesus. All right. Stephen St. John Williamson, hopefully long name. So great to hear from you and what you're doing over there in England. It sounds very fancy. When your British literary agent recommended my agency here in New York to represent you as you tried to break into the American market, I assumed he knew what he was talking about. I must be honest with you, I don't even know who Byron is. I had to go to the library and look it up. Sounds like he led a very interesting life, but boy, his poems are a yawn fest. As for your desire to speak poetically of the hearts of the flora and fauna of the world, and specifically the redwood forest, I have to tell you that I am in the literary sales business, not the literary give it away business. I want to encourage you to keep writing because obviously you have a gift of some sort. But may I encourage you to direct it towards something that people would enjoy reading, such as novels of crime and villainy, and you might even try a comic book superhero, a new trend sweeping the streets of my city, wherein adult men wear their underwear or as outside clothing and help people in need. All the best, Edwin.
Edwin. Yawn fest. Give it away, Biz. Underwear. Okay, well, dear Edwin, as always, I appreciate the missive from over the great waters. Missive impossible. However, I wish to impress on you that despite my growing saturation with Byron's work, that Childe Harold's Pilgrimage is no yawn fest. No, indeed. He bends the possibilities of the poetic form while teasing, while seducing, no, while plundering the erotic depths of each of his readers. That'll show him, yes. So we'll say no more about that, I'm sure. However, I understand your reluctance to fully endorse my leaning towards the life of the wild. This may seem inaccessible to the average street dealer in Brooklyn or the washerwoman in Queens, but I am set on investigating the lives of the creature. This will be no yawn fest. Is there a compromise to be made? Perhaps we could introduce some of the themes you speak of into the life of the American brown bear, or the beaver, or perhaps the wild coyote. Yes, perhaps there is a genre in which these characters could find themselves, could be firmly situated in. I write in positive hope, yours, Stephen St. John Williamson.
Beavers. Bears. All right. Dear Mr. St. John Williamson, thank you kindly for your thoughtful letter. I must say your stationery and penmanship are impeccable and very impressive. If you have a chance, could you send me some? As in the United States, we don't have so many fancy things as you do in Europe. What we do have in America is a bit more rough around the edges. And that includes the taste. of our nation's readers. You almost had me when you talked about the plundering erotic depths. And I thought for a moment, you had in mind a pirate adventure. Imagine it. A washerwoman from Queens is kidnapped by pirates and has adventures around the world. Sound exciting? Question mark. As for you talking about beavers and bears, well, that is a snooze fest. Perhaps we could offer it as a nighttime reader for children. But may I suggest, perhaps it is a man beaver or a bear man, a twisted creature who haunts the night, a kidnapping mothers and children. And then there could be a hero who helps save them, and he may wear his underwear on the outside of his clothes. I'm not the writer, I'm just the agent, so take this as you will. Keep being brilliant. Here is my address for the stationery and pen if you have a moment to ship it to my office instead of my home. I meant ship it to my home instead of my office. I intended to be a gift for my missus. Kind regards, Edwin.
Good. Good. Washerwoman pirate. Dear Edwin, firstly, I should congratulate New York on its honoring of the tradition of peace and celebration for all its inhabitants, for it sounds like you certainly do celebrate many fests. Will you get the point? I am driving the point home that you are emphasizing often how yawn festy or snooze festy my ideas are, with a cunning reference. I think that's clearer. Can I be frank? Yes. When I was 8 years old, my bunny rabbit Agamemnon died. This was an event that impressed a deep mark upon my soul. And my limited literary success has brought me to a point where that wound, that chasm, is all too evident. Therefore, it is vital that I express the élan vital of the animal world as a tribute to Agamemnon. So there will be no washerwoman, and it will be no snooze fest either. I am willing to meet you part way. This idea of a man beaver, a beaver with the sensibility of a man, perhaps, perhaps he writes poetry. This could be an interesting direction to take. We could call him Byron Beaver. The exact details of this genre are not familiar to me, but I'm sure you can give me some useful direction. Yours, as always, Stephen St. John Williamson. I include a pen as it appears you have need of such, and I remain your companion through these difficult times.
Okay. Okay. That's a start, Beaver. Beaverman. My dear Stephen, thank you so much for the fancy pen. I almost feel British. Say hello to the Queen for me. She seems real nice. I have been thinking long and hard over the past week about your willingness to try changing genres and accommodate the needs of the common reader we have here in America. But how do I say this properly? Your concept of a poetry writing beaver is, dare I say, a nap party. I do not want my readers falling asleep while they unexpectedly are handed some, dare I say, boring poetry written by one of the woodland creatures. Now, if this beaver were instead to fight crime, or to commit crime, or be witness to a crime and then go to a hard-boiled detective who then investigates the crime only to find out there's a conspiracy afoot, well, then you'd have something my readers would be interested in. I have tried delicately to encourage you towards something we call, quote, hard-boiled, which is not about eggs, but is a description of the lives of the characters. They have rough lives, often involving crime and villainy. This is very interesting to our readers. I'm not sure why. I just know it sells. I don't know literary art like you, and I don't pretend to be a genius with words, but I am pretty good at making a buck. I don't want to say no to you, as you have tried very hard through your letters to encourage me to bend toward your literary ways. So I will give you another opportunity. Try punching up this beaver idea. Punching up should be in quotes. If you can, by the end of the month, deliver something that's rip-roaring, perhaps you will find a check of American dollars in your mailbox soon. Yours, Edwin. P.S. Thank you for the pen. My wife really appreciates it.
Very well. Edwin. Queen. Nap party. Fighting crime. Hard boiled. Ah, dear, oh dear. Edwin, I will be to the point. This to and fro has exhausted many weeks, nay, months, during which I have had no secured income. Therefore, you must apologize the scratchy nature of this script. I am writing to you with one of my children's crayons. I regret giving him my pen now. Very well, I will do as you ask. This will be no nap party. Please find enclosed the first 5 pages of Byron, the crime-fighting beaver. If you like your albumen as thick and solid as the blubber of a hardened polar bear, you will not be let down by this piece of work, for indeed the poetry that he creates is scurrilous and indeed criminal. I have also introduced some action scenes that you may enjoy, during which the beaver stunningly dives through the waters of the Hudson River and builds a dam at the languid pace that only a beaver is capable of doing. Knowing you may not be entirely happy, I have also included a postscript during which the beaver battles a group of organized criminals. I trust you will see the foolishness of continuing with that direction. I do believe the heart of the work contains the heart of the matter. Yours, in some desperation, Stephen St. John Williamson, Esquire.
Oh, what have we here? Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Stephen. Stephen, my dear friend. Wowzer, you were on to something here. It appears in your letter that you speak disparaging of your brilliant work when Byron the Beaver is fighting the organized criminals. Let me tell you, I let some friends around the office read it, and wow, it was a real page turner. I even had to yell at them to get the heck back to work and quit wasting your day reading that. That is actually a good sign that they are willing to face my wrath in order to read your now published work. I will need the rest of the manuscript as soon as possible, as we have pre-sold Byron the Beaver Crime Fighter as a series of novels across the country. We have anxious booksellers awaiting the arrival of Byron the Crime-Fighting Beaver as soon as possible. Here is a check for your hard work. It's in American dollars. I have no idea what the currency is in Europe. I do apologize. P.S. I'm enclosing your pen as you have written your book in crayon, and that is absolutely ridiculous. I should not have one of my published authors writing a book in crayon. Yours in literary love, and let me draw a little heart there, Edwin.
Well, that's something. Money. Well, I guess I've done it. Byron. Byron, have I betrayed you? Have I made you the laughing stock? It's wrong to put you out there in this way. To put you out there alone. Dear Edwin, your gracious letter and ample reward have not come a moment too soon. 1,000 plaudits and my gratitude swimming across the Atlantic to you. I feel beholden to you, to Byron, and to the American public. This book that I will present to you will contain not only Byron the Beaver, no, it will contain Wordsworth the Warbler, a bird detective. It will involve Keats the cat, who deals with unscrupulous landlords, and yes, Coleridge the carp, who investigates pollution across the city. Together, they band together, embodying the romantic spirit and also the goodness that is found within the animal spirit. Yes, I could not do this to Byron alone, but banded together, these romantics does justice to the entire conceit. I will call it Romantics Assemble. And I trust you will be inspired by the same shining light from the creative heavens as I am experiencing now. Yours eternally, Stephen St. John Williamson.
And that was the final letter sent between Stephen St. John Williams and Edwin, the literary agent. Romantics Assemble went on to be a popular hit, and Stephen became a huge author and still makes money from the film and merchandising revenue to this very day.